Greetings, viewers. You're welcome to Healthy Me 247. I am Pharmacist Omeliko Peter, your host. Have you seen a pharmacist today? Probably not, but here you're seeing one. So, welcome to this special edition featuring top 7 questions you should ask your pharmacist anytime you go to get your medication or what have you. Anytime you go to get your medication, these are top 7 questions you might ask. Why ask these questions? Ordinarily, your pharmacist are meant to provide you with these answers to this question while counseling you. One thing or the other, they may not make available. They may not give you 1, 2, or all of the 7 of this important information, which is very much important for effectiveness of your medication, for you to get the expected result. So, what are these 7 questions? So that anytime your pharmacist does not make available answers to these 7 questions, you ask the questions. That's why I named the top 7 questions you're going to ask your pharmacist anytime you go get your medication. So, question number 1, the name of your medication. Is very much important. You know the name of the medication you are about to take. The reason being that if you don't know what you're going to take, you just go, they give you medication and you just go like that. You could have allergy to these drugs. It's very much important. For example, some of us don't take sulfur drugs. Ask the name of the medication. They give you the name of the medication. If it's not, because some drugs, after all, some drugs are counted. If you get to know the name, you might know that, oh, I actually react to this medication and all that, and changes will be made, and the adverse effects after one will be avoided. Very much important. So that brings us to the second very much important question. The second question, usage of the drug. Ask how to use your drugs. If the pharmacist makes such information available for you, very much important. But if he doesn't, you ask this question: how do I use these drugs? You don't just assume it's tablet and, oh, I'm to take it twice a day, so I just go and swallow. No, some tablets are meant to be inserted. Likewise, creams, a lot have different method or ways of usage. So ask for the usage of your drugs anytime you go to collect your medication, I beg you. So another much important question you ask as regards your medication anytime you go to get it from your pharmacist is storage of your medication. How do I store this medication? Some of these medications, they have a better way of storing them, of which if you don't adhere to it, you either denature the drugs, thereby reducing the efficacy of these drugs, or you denature it entirely. A very good example, some drugs are light sensitive. Light denature such drugs. As such, you see some medication, if you buy it, they are stored in amber bottles. Such drugs, without being told, such drugs are actually very sensitive to light, and that's why they've taken precautionary measure by storing them in amber bottles. So when you go home and you expose them to light, you denature these drugs. So ask your pharmacist, how do I store these drugs? Some, like most of your suppositories, they are very sensitive to heat, so that if they're being exposed to heat, they get to melt, and this thing have to be in their solid shape for you to be able to insert this medication. So if you're not told to keep them, store them in the fridge, they just give you and you go, definitely you will not just go home. Obviously, you will not just go home and carry your medication and store it in the fridge. So it's actually the duty of the pharmacist to make this information available to you. But in case it's not, you ask this question: how do I store my medication? Very, very much important. So that brings us to another very much important question you should ask your pharmacist anytime you go for your medication. What is this question? This is a very striking and worrisome thing going on now in the society, which is interaction. You always ask about your drugs. Do they interact with other drugs? Do they interact with food? Do they interact with drinks? And what are those, so you could avoid them? Ordinarily, the pharmacist is meant to tell you this, but most times that's not the case. Why? I don't know. It could be a lot of workload on the pharmacist's cross his mind, another, but it's your health. You're the primary person in this question. It's all about your health. So you ask this question to me, say, Some persons, the lover of alcohol, some persons cannot do without drinking alcohol. It's a very good example. They can't do without alcohol every time they drink another. So such person come to get some medication without being. If you don't ask this question, you wouldn't even know that it actually have an adverse reaction or effect if taken with alcohol. A very good example is the metronidazole, popularly known as flagyl. If you don't ask your pharmacist and you know you're going to, probably you're going out to chill with your friends that night and you're on metronidazole, you go home, you take your drugs and you jump in and you start, drinking alcohol, you might get a result that you did not bargain for. So very much important. Always ask for the interaction, drug interaction. Just ask your pharmacist always for the interaction of your drugs if they do interact with either food or drugs that you take. That brings us to another very much important question you should ask your pharmacist anytime you go to get your medication. What is this question? How long do I take this drug? They don't just give you a pack of a drug and you just assume, oh, you have to take it 2 times a day, and you take it 2 times a day until you finish the pack. No. Some medication are meant to be taken. Most of the pharmacy will sell you a pack of a drug. Not all are being retailed. And as such, if you're being dispensed with, let's use a very common example, ciprofloxacin now it comes many times as 14 tablets, or the azithromycin. Azithromycin comes most time even as 10 tablets, as 5 tablets, as 3 tablets. And in most cases, you take it for 3 days. Let's say 500 milligrams for an adult daily for 3 days in most cases. As such, they sell you a pack of azithromycin that has 10 tablets, and you go home and because they say it's once daily, you take it one daily for 10 days. You have you have abused this drug, you've exceeded your limit. So always ask, how long do I need to take this drug? The pharmacist ordinarily, like I said, should make available this information to you without asking, but you never can tell. If not told, ask these questions. Ask this question, like I said. That brings us to another very much important question you should always ask when you go to get your medicine from the pharmacist, which is side effects of your medication. Very much important. Ask, what are the side effects of your medication? What are the side effects? Does this drug have side effects? Obviously, in my shock, almost all drugs have side effects. So it's just that some are marked side effects, marked in the sense that they are very much pronounced, while others are not. But generally, for a medication to be given to you, the benefit outweighs the risk. So that's why it's being given to you. But then it's very much important to ask for the side effects. Reason being that some of the side effects, like a good example, the majority of the antihistamine, like your popular Puritan now, is drowsy. As such, if you take such without asking, and you're someone that drives, you just go and start driving or handling heavy duty equipment, it might lead to accident, which is very, very going to lead to what you did never bargained for. I mean, who goes to buy problem for his or herself? You went to sort for solution and end up getting more problem. It's not called for. So ask, if that is the case and you're told, you're not aware that this is drowsy, you stay off driving, stay off handling heavy equipment. Why? On this medication. So very much important, ask for side effects of your medication. And again, another last but not the least of this, which is number 7, the best time of the day to take your medication. It's always important you ask your pharmacist the best time of the day to take your medication. Some are better taken in the morning, some in the night, like our popular bendazole for the warming. It's always much important why you take it early in the morning. Reason being that if you have to take it on empty stomach. So if taken early in the morning, all things being normal, first thing in the morning you take it, you still have an empty stomach, you've not even eating, nothing. But they just give you, and it's just to take it once, and you just go ahead in the afternoon like that and take it. You've taken not just your breakfast, you've taken your lunch. As such, you will not get the desired results. So These are my top 7 questions you must ask your pharmacist anytime you visit one. If the pharmacist presents you these answers to this question without you asking, good, it's a plus. But if not, ask this question and insist you get answers to them. Thank you very much. If you're my returning subscriber, I do appreciate. Keep up staying up with us. And if you're just passing by, this is your first time on the channels, do well to subscribe. If you have any question, what you want us to discuss subsequently, do well to drop it in the comment section. Thank you very much. I still remain your host, Pharmacist Omeliko Peter. You're still always welcome to join us again on Healthy Me 247, your #1 awareness channel when it comes to healthcare. Thank you.